Boys, Genesis Part 2 has now been out for a few days, and a decent amount of good base locations have been discovered. I figured I'd make my own top 10 best base locations for you guys that are actually legit spots and won't cause you any issues later down the line. 8 of which are able to be built in on official, and 2 of the locations are for the unofficial players out there. If you find this video useful at all, please consider subscribing for more content like this, as well as ARK PvP videos, as I'd love to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Anyways, coming in at number 1, we have one of my favourite starting locations. Located at roughly 50 lat, 35 long, you'll see a large metal structure type thing, which you're actually able to build inside of. These 4 metal pillars are just outside the entrance of the hole, so look out for them. I'm technically a way to show you 2 base locations here, but I class them as one as they're just beside each other, and if you build in one, you'll probably end up taking the other one for more space. So if you fly just between this little part of the building, you'll see there's actually a gap you can squeeze through by crouching. This location only has one entrance, so a little death wall facing this ledge will lock it down and make it pretty hard for anyone trying to attack it. There's enough space in here to fit smithies, fabricators, vaults, some tames, and so on. Everything you could possibly need for a perfect secure starter base. Located just next to this spot is another base location. Same idea as before, fly between these structures and you'll find the entrance. This one's a bit smaller than the other side, but still worth taking if you need the extra space, as it's not easy for people trying to raid it, even if you're offline. Moving on to location number 2, located at about 73 lat, 41 long, we have a much larger base location this time. You can follow this massive tentacle to find the spot, which again only has one entrance to it. This spot has enough space to fit everything you'd need: a main base, industrial forges, tech replicator, a teleporter, and so on. To defend this spot you could have cliff flat towers, turret boxes, all facing the one entrance. The entrance is relatively big, but a tech force field still fully covers it if you are ever using one during a defense. Next, for location number 3, we have a very tall pillar located at 46 lat, 75 long. They can pretty much only be attached by people with flyers or skiffs on the map. This spot has plenty space for multiple cliff flat towers and flat ground in the middle to place your main base, farming station, or whatever you need. To mix things up a bit, location number 4 is underwater this time. The coordinates are roughly 44 lat, 69 long. This spot has 2 identical entrances and a lot of space inside. You can easily fit 2 death walls in here for the entrances, as well as turrets looking into the water on either side if you like, while still having enough room for a teleporter, replicator, crafting station, and so on. Location number 5, located at roughly 50 lat, 8 long, is another one entrance base location that would not be easy for people trying to raid online or even offline. The location itself can fit turrets, vaults, fabricators and so on, but it isn't that big until you come over to this side. Whether or not this part of the base location is classed as being in the mesh, I can't really comment on. It sort of appears to be a mesh spot back here, but you could also argue against that and say that the sandy hill shouldn't be coming through the floor like it is, and if that's the case then the back here wouldn't be classed as mesh. So the spot itself is completely fine to build in on official, but I wouldn't recommend keeping anything too valuable in the back, just in case the devs update this spot and cut off access to that part. Another thing that I really like about this base spot is the outside. It's a massive flat spot that you could put some turret towers on to protect the hole, and even use the land as your dino storage, crafting station, and so on if need be. Coming in at number 6, we have a very different style of base location. The coordinates I've chosen for this location are roughly 16 lat, 55 lon, but for this base location the coordinates don't matter as much. So let me explain that a bit. When you're in the middle part of the map, you're actually able to build on the walls down here using cliff plats, which you can then of course build your base on, place tech gens, turrets, forges, etc, etc. I just went for these coordinates as it's the edge of the map, so there's one less side to worry about defending. Now, building here with cliff plats is completely fine to do so, but what I'm away to show you, probably, most definitely, shouldn't be in the game, so I don't recommend doing this if you play on official servers. You can actually pillar down from the cliff plat and place foundations on the floor of the map itself, therefore you now have foundation support and no longer need the cliff plats to hold all of your structures. Moving on to location number 7, we have another one entrance spot. Located at roughly 46 lat, 13 lon, you will come across a large metal structure that again you can actually build inside of. When you fly up this little tube type thing, you will find the entrance at the top. The hole can be used as a sort of choke point, and you can have a cliff plat tower or two at the top, defending your base that's inside. There is a lot of space inside here that you can use. It's not exactly flat at the bottom, but with the use of pillars and ceilings or even just cliff platforms, you could build a pretty good main base down here with plenty more space for your tames, forges, tech routes, etc. if built correctly. The thing I love about spots like these is that you can't exactly be tame sniped by your enemies, unless of course they're using tech railguns, but it's much more annoying and time consuming to tame snipe using them. In terms of the outside, you could also throw up some cliff plat towers to scare off people from scouting your death wall inside. Location number 8. This is the last location on my list that works on official servers, and I've went for one a little bit simpler than the others. The location itself is found at 63 lat, 13 lon. If you're searching for a base location on the list and they all appear to be taken, you'll probably settle for anywhere on the map that's not land accessible and is relatively flat in order to build your main base on. This spot is perfect for that. It's flat, not accessible by land, and it's not an extremely overpowered base location, so people built on server won't be heavily targeting your base so that they can have the base location. This is actually the spot that my tribe first built on when playing Genesis Part 2, and it served its purpose perfectly. We had no issues with this spot, and there was plenty of space for our main base, our breeders, skiff storage, a greenhouse, and yeah, you get the picture. Okay, now on to the unofficial base locations. Location number 9, located at roughly 59 lat, 36 lon. It's pretty much a miniature crouch cave. There's one entrance that requires you to crouch to walk through, and there's a decent bit of space in here if you're able to clip your structures into the mesh like on most unofficial servers. The little cave type spot is split into 2 compartments. The back compartment allows you that bit of extra space for storage. It is a bit of a tight squeeze in here, but if built correctly, you can still store a lot inside. Last, but of course not least, location 10. Again, this is for the unofficial players out there. This spot is found at about 37 lat, 42 lon. The entrance is pretty big, but again, it's only one entrance, so it's much better than defending a base from all angles. There's a lot of space inside, plenty spots to place cliff flat towers, turret towers, while still having massive amounts of room for your main base, dino storage, and so on. That's it for my top 10 base locations on Genesis Part 2. Once again, if you found this video useful, feel free to subscribe for more content like this, as well as the ARK PvP videos that I upload. I'd love to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I wonder if it gets here before the next cataclysm. Well, one can hope with this one out. I might be stuck with the long way out. They say only the good die young, but I can feel the pressure building, just like a balloon in my skull. I think it might be overfilling.
All this stress sure takes its toll.